Viking fans, are you ready for defensive unit, as managed by head coach Jeff Wildcats. At nose tackle, number 50, senior Oliver Chapman. At defensive end, number 79, senior Dominic Perez. Defensive end, number 69, senior Quentin Nota. Linebacker, number 57, senior Corey Jackson. Number 56, junior Ryan Brooks. Linebacker, number 55, junior Connor Westby. Linebacker, number 33, senior Sam Hendon. Linebacker, number 28, Desmond Heath. Quarterback, number 6, senior Kanan Warren. Quarterback, number 11, senior John Setti. And safety, number 19, senior Zach. Jeff Weigel, assisted by Dave Snyder, Peter Blue, Scott Cole, Jared Prince, Chris Richardson, and Kyle Kentrum.
Woo! Let's go, boys! Oh no! Oh no!
And join the North Kitsap High Band in the playing of our national anthem. captains for tonight for Archbishop Murphy, number 11, Connor Johnson. Number 78, Jesus Echevarria. Number 54, Jackson Yost. And number 14, Anthony Gurley. For the Vikings, number 56, Ryan Brooks. Number 33, Sam Hendon. Number 22, Nate Jorno. And number 19, Zach Clark.
Probably over here. I like the setup though. Come in.
Your Kitsap won the toss and deferred to the second half. Archbishop Murphy will receive. The kickoff is coming up.
The lines of that great sage, Yogi Berra. It's a Vu all over again, Kitty. First round of the WIA8 up here at Paulsbos. Kitsap Vikings host the Archbishop Thomas Murphy Cats.
Exactly, Doc. And look, this happened in the last year. I looked at my stats from last year.
Okay.
I was thinking it was first because North Kitsap beat River Ridge, and in order to then be facing Archbishop Murphy. And that was a great match up until about the fourth quarter. It was 13-0, ended up 27-0. I don't think it's a matter of revenge. It is just a matter of playing really good against a really good team.
And that's a pretty good way to start out. Keenan Warren with the touchback.
You know, he makes that kind of statement every time, and this Archbishop Murphy team has a kicker that makes a very similar statement. He has tons of touchbacks, and he was the special teams player of the year again for the Cascade Conference.
And of course, the Archbishop Murphy team has had a lot of, shall we say, controversy. Not on the team, but in the press, and et cetera, et cetera. And we'll talk about that as we go on. But first down here for the Wildcats from their 20-yard line.
Battle of the 10-0s.
Chop him down! Help him out!
Nice stop that time. Tackle that time by North Kitsap's number 6, Kanan Warren. Now, last time I saw, North came in at number 6 in the state, in the 2A division, and the Wildcats are number 1 in the 2A division.
That is how they're ranked, and not. It's so weird that they ended up by strength of schedule as the number 3 team coming out of Division 2, District 2, 1-2, but they obviously have some skills.
To break through the line for the Wildcats. It's a foot race now, and finally brought down before getting into the end zone, the Wildcat runner.
That is Colin Montez. Wow. I looked at all of the last year's players, and although Colin is a senior, he was not a member of this team last year. He is a senior, 6'1", 200 pounds. And one of the scary runners. The other one you have to look for is Anthony Gurley, number 14.
And once he broke through that line, he took off and nobody could get a hold of him until the very
I'm impressed with Warren getting him because he was pretty much all alone out there.
First down now for the Wildcats into North Kitsap's red zone. Handoff again. This time, nice stop by that North Kitsap D. And the quarterback out there for the Wildcats is Connor Johnson, a senior.
Several of these guys were on the team last year. Gurley, Johnson, Henderson, Kyler Gordon, Abraham Lucas, Jesus Echeverria. Yeah, they're all still there. And possibly bigger.
Now let's bring up second down. They'll give him about a yard on that first one.
Go, boys!
And Johnson will go under center, one man behind him. Man goes in motion. It's a pitch out. Oh, tough running, but finally brought down. And it's not going to be much more than a couple of yards on that one.
Looked like he was going to get quite a bit out of that, and then North Kitsap, great pursuit on the side.
Well, third down now, and ball is going to be placed, looks like about the 8-yard line, 7-yard line.
The Wildcats kicker, number 3, Ryan Henderson, is perfect on PATs this year, 34 of 34, and has a 54-yard field goal that Jeff Graham swears would have gone 60 against Olympic.
All right, Johnson gets the guy settled down. That's a big front line he's got to work with. Beautiful shot! Right up through those big guys.
Quentin Noda.
Whoa.
Quentin leads his team in sacks this year. Or actually, he's second. He has 5 sacks on the year. Now he's tied with Ryan Brooks for 6.
Well, that's going to bring up a fourth down. Loss of yardage. Ball will go back to the 12-yard line. So I would assume we will see the kicker.
We are seeing number 3
on this first series, and that's Ryan Henderson.
Many of these Wildcats are Cascade Conference first teamers, and this is the Special Teams Player of the Year for the 2nd year in a row.
And the men in stripes says it's through, and the Wildcats put the first points on the board with a field goal or 3 here at the beginning of quarter number 1.
How important was that tackle by Warren now for them then to
on
stiffen?
That long run, yeah.
Exactly. They kept them to just 3. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed. And I think Warren, besides having the kickoff, it had the tackle on the previous or on the next play after that. Kanan's starting hot. And I believe, as I remember, I don't know what he's going to do this year, but Kanan was on the basketball team last year also.
Well, at the end of the last game, they pointed out to us that the guys who were doing the cleanup in the stands were the basketball players. So at the basketball games, the football players clean up, and what Kanan does is he avoids ever having to clean up by playing both.
All right. Hangs with Coach Orness. Or
yeah,
Coach
exactly. He's not dumb.
The Vikings, of course, head coach Jeff Weibel. I believe he's been around for 6 years up here. And what a program he and his assistants have built.
They have gone to the playoffs year after year after year, and last year they made it into the 2nd round, looking to do that once again.
Yep, tonight is officially the first round of WIAA. Last week's game against Ording was a West Central District tournament game.
Go! Stay with your block!
And after first round, you go to quarterfinals. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's going into the end zone. So touchback out to the 20. He was just about on the goal line when he grabbed it there.
Yeah, it was above his head. That would have been a tough run back. Out of 45 kickoffs this year, he has 23 touchbacks. So I think we're going to see big leg versus big leg.
Don't they generally say when you're receiving a kick or a punt, you should not catch it over your head?
That's probably not a good idea. I would agree with that.
All right, first down for the North Kitsap Vikings on their 20-yard line. And senior Tristan Is it Newman? Yeah,
Newman.
Tristan Newman out there. Nice little pickup on first down.
I believe that was Solis with the carry. What a nice cadre of runners the North Kitsap group have. 4 of them that have combined for 38 touchdowns and 2,225 yards.
Wow.
You're looking at Solis, Clark, Jormo, and Hendon, thank you. I should know that. That's right beside Solis on my list.
32-33.
Some nice blocking. Oh,
And that's
excellent
32.
movement.
Jack Solis putting his head down.
Some big guys bringing him down at the end. Kyler Gordon, one of the Wildcats, in on the tackle.
And that will give North Kitsap a first down as they move the ball forward, and it'll be placed at, looks like the 37-yard line. Newman fakes a handoff, rolls out, nice pass, open receiver down to the 45, 47.
That is Jormo with the run, number 21, helping to bring him down, Colin Montez.
Oh, get it going! First down! Come on now! Come on!
Nice job by North Kitsap, mixing it up early here.
We would tell you who our man in the white hat is, but they didn't make the trip up to the booth tonight to tell us. I'm not even sure what refereeing group they're from.
Second down here, and just short of that first pitch out to this near side, and there's the first down, and the Vikings into Wildcat territory.
That is some powerful running by Solis. I always talk about his afterburners and second gear that he has, but there's some proof that he can move through the trenches as well.
Dax is a junior. Hendon's a senior back there in that backfield. Newman also a senior. First down now for North. Roll out to this near side. Tristan pulls it down, and he'll pick up a yard or two on that. He wanted to go downfield, but nobody open.
I think that was Jesus Echevarrio in on the tackle.
It's a pretty tight defense that the Wildcats are playing out here. You don't have any real deep
Look at that
safeties.
defensive line. I don't think anybody under 200. Just some huge people out there. Echevarria at 330.
Newman with the handoff to Solis, and back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe half a yard gain on that for Dax. Ball at the 46-yard line of the Wildcats, and it'll be third down coming up.
2 of the big guys out there for the Wildcats, Jackson Yost, a senior, and Abraham Lucas, also a senior. They are 265 and 260. Lucas last year was their tight end, and he has changed this year to offensive line, and I think he was still defensive line last year as well.
Third down now, about 9 to go for the Vikings. Keep it alive. Oh, good pass and good catch, but it's gonna come up a little short. And unfortunately, John said he knew it when he got up. He's gonna be about 2 yards short, it looks like.
Well, that little rain shower we had right before the game began just made the field, I think, wet enough that he slipped. But it was a nice connection.
And actually, he was open.
Yes.
You know, the defense got to him pretty quick, but he was open, which is great to see at this point.
Liking Newman's poise so far because he's had some big bodies coming at him.
And they are going for it. 4th down here and a couple yards to go for the 1st down to keep this drive alive. It's a pitch out. Solis, and unfortunately brought down in the backfield by number 45, Luke Riojas.
Darn close to a horse collar the way he brought him down. He just needed one more step. That was such really good speed by Riojas to catch up with him. I love the call otherwise because he was going to have that outside corner and at least those 2 yards.
Riojas is listed at 215, I believe, here, and that's pretty good size.
Just a sophomore as well.
Yep.
He was a first-team linebacker for the Cascade Conference.
Well, the Wildcats take over.
Oh, I saw motion. Maybe not the rest of the world did, but...
And the completed pass, and that is just far enough, it looks like, for 1st down for the Wildcats as they move into North Kitsap territory. Yep, they're moving the flags. 4:44 left to go here in the 1st quarter.
In just 5 games, Connor Johnson was 28 of 42 for 737 yards passing and was named first-team quarterback. I realize they are 10-0, but 5 of those wins were via forfeit.
This time back in the gun, and he's gunning down deep. He's got an open receiver and overthrew him. But a pretty good arm, Kitty.
Yeah, that was scary. That was number 9 down there, Desi Carey, the senior.
Overthrew him by a few yards on that one.
He must have heard me talking about his quarterback stats and wanted to show off his arm there. That was, got some power to that. Last year, this Archbishop Murphy team beat North Kitsap 27-0 in the 2nd round, went on to lose to Tumwater 24-21, and then Tumwater lost to Prosser and took 2nd in the state.
Hand off to the man in front of the quarterback, and a good job of defense, pushing him back. They'll give him forward progress, but it's going to be about the line of scrimmage.
I think that almost is a case of not hearing the whistle. Maybe it's a Richard Sherman moment where they just didn't hear the whistle. There is a great crowd on this side. Pretty good number of people over on Archbishop Murphy's side as well.
Now, Archbishop Murphy's from Everett.
Correct.
The Everett area. So, yeah, a good group of people coming on across the boat on Veterans Day. And again, Johnson back in that gun. Going to the other side with the long pass. Again, he's got the open receiver. Oh! And this time the receiver had his hands on it, but nice defense.
That was number 14, Anthony Gurley, whose name we actually haven't brought up as far as doing something on offense. He was the offensive MVP for the 2nd year in a row for the Cascade Conference.
And that was Sam Hendon with some good defense there.
He was going to be tackled if he caught it, but he had his hands on that. Now this is something that doesn't happen very often. It's called a punt, and Archbishop Murphy doesn't do that very often. But their punter was named the punter of the year, which surprised me since I think he only had 3 of them.
Yeah, and that one will be down at about that 3-yard line.
That could be why he was named punter of the year.
Kyler Gordon puts that one down for a long field coming up here for the Vikings.
Great job by the defense. They have to be psyched by that. I thought there were a couple excellent articles in the Kitsap Sun today regarding this matchup. The one by Jeff Graham with his line about Archbishop is number 1 in the polls, and the polls are always right, people. So that's got to be the line of the year for me.
Yeah. 1st down for North.
Found an opening.
Man, picked up of 3 or 4 yards on that one.
Sam Hendon with the carry.
Picks up about 3. Desi Carey made the tackle for the Wildcats. Second down
North
and
Kitsap has, we've been talking about the big guys on the Wildcat side, but there's some so important out there. Connor Westby, Ryan Brooks, Corey Jackson, Oliver Chapman, Quinton Noda, when he's more, we get his name more often in defense, but out there on offense as well at times. The big guys in the trenches.
Second down now and 7. And the ball in the air, almost picked off, but out of bounds.
Kristen Newman's pass is incomplete.
It was intended for Lucas Anderson.
Gordon with the almost reception. He has 3 interceptions on the year and first team secondary. Just get used to, I'm starting most of my comments about their players with first team. Several of which are like first team offensive line and defensive line. And it's got to be so tough to make those determinations when they only played 5 games and half of those weren't against their own conference.
Third down now for the Vikings. Oh, Newman, he's hassled in the pocket there.
That was Abraham Lucas in on him really quickly.
Yes, indeed, number 72.
I forgot the fact that he is also 6'8", to go with that 260.
Yeah.
That's why he was
quick. He was, like you said, right in there.
Well, that's why he was a tight end last year. Just deadly out there.
So North Kitsap will kick away. Uh-oh, nah, well, not the best of punts.
Oh, it depends upon where they mark it having gone out.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give him a pretty good mark.
They keep moving back.
Yeah. How much further? Well, that's about, I was thinking the 30. It's actually going to be at the 34-yard line. Is where the Wildcats will take over.
Here's the good news. There was absolutely no run back.
2.5 to go here in the first.
Some great work by the fans and these cheerleaders. They've been here week after week after week and so enjoying it.
Handoff. Oh, good stop. They had him in the
flag.
backfield. He will make a couple of yards, but we'll have to see what the flag is.
Usually where you're going to see an offensive holding, but we'll have to look at our guy in the white hat to figure this out.
That's a hold. That's against the offense.
Hey, after a couple years of watching some football, we get this down, Doc.
That'll move him back 5. Another first down, though. Or redo of first down, shall we say.
And it will be from where it occurred, so I think it's actually going to go back 10 from there.
Yeah, it'll move it back to the 44-yard line.
So we're looking at 1st and 20, 2.5 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Johnson. Quick shot out to the flat on the far side, and pretty good stop by the D. He'll pick up maybe 5 yards on that. Move it down to the 39-yard line. Second down now for the Wildcats.
That's Gurley with the reception.
Head coach Jerry Jensen for the Archbishop Thomas Murphy.
He is also
Wildcats.
their AD. We saw this last week with Ording, and didn't used to be, just I believe it was August that he was named as the AD. I've been told he was a pretty serious man on the other side.
Second down now for the Wildcats.
Drop it down! Go!
No, man. Again, a good job, a team defense there by North Kitsap, and you do not want to let that young man get a head of steam built up.
Exactly, and you are so correct about team. I did see Zach Clark come off the top with a couple other guys in purple, bringing him down.
Well, third down and 11 or 12 to go for a first. A minute here left to go in the first quarter. So if they hold them here, maybe we can see that 55-yard field goal.
We just might, Doc.
Johnson under center this time. One man behind. Going to the air.
He's got his outlet over there.
Over to the outlet on the right side. Oh, again. Good D. The North Kitsap defense holds their position.
Anthony Gurley just demanding the ball over there, and it just took too long to develop, and North Kitsap up there to take him down.
Fourth down, the ball is on the 37-yard line. And are we going to see the attempt?
That would be a 54-yard field goal.
It looks like they're going to give her a shot. Ball looks like they're going to place it at the 44.
Time's going to run out, and he's not going to get the wind at his back.
And that'll do it. End of quarter number 1 up here in Paulsbo. First round of the WIAA State 2A Division Football Championship Tournament. And the Archbishop Thomas Murphy Wildcats lead our North Kitsap Vikings 3-0. Back to quarter number 2 up here at Paulsbo's North Kitsap Stadium as the Vikings host the Archbishop Thomas Murphy Wildcats in the first round of the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association 2A Division High School Football Championship Tournament.
Hey, Doc, you did that without reading it off of a cue card. I'm impressed that you could remember what WIAA stood for.
And we're going to have a long attempt at a field goal. This will be close to that 54 yards, Giddy.
It's listed at 53, I believe, but yeah, that's about as close as you get. Nope.
No, that one's going to come up short. I don't know if it might have actually been close to getting tipped.
There was a jump involved.
So the Vikings defense doing their job out there, holding the Wildcats 2-3. Well, we're West Sun TV, working with the KitsapSun.com to be able to stream this contest live to ya on KitsapSun.com/Game of the Week or GOTW or get the KitsapSun.com app. If you get the app, they've been emailing me when the game's
letting you know,
on.
right?
All you have to do is
emailing you,
go
Doc.
to
You
it.
have email now
On my phone.
on your
yes,
phone.
of course.
You're so high tech.
That's right.
So look how important it was. Oh, I understand what they were trying to do, but
Well,
slowed down the receiver at the line, not able to get as far out there as Tristan Newman expected. But the fact that they didn't get that kickoff at the end of the first quarter changed the wind conditions, because he now had the wind in his face instead of at his back. So that might be a
That's
huge
true.
play.
second down now for the Vikings. Ball at the 20. Who's got it there?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, the ball is on the ground, and the Wildcats pick it up to put 6 on the board.
Riojas with the recovery. Or actually, it was Montez with the recovery.
And just as the Vikings come off the beginning of the second quarter with some momentum from that stop field goal, now the Wildcats quickly put 6 up on the board.
Henderson, 34 of 34 on PATs.
And that one's good. There is somebody. I'll have to get the number in the
I
back
know.
there.
Did you see how high he got?
Hope Scott Ornesi's got his number.
It might be Warren.
Oh,
You never
could be. You're right. Yeah. Well, unfortunately for us Vikings fans, the Wildcats take care of business, grab a ball on the ground, and take it into the end zone. And now lead 10-0 here, and we have just begun quarter number 2.
Vikings looked like they were trying to reverse on that one, and possibly just those different exchanges that happened with that is how the ball came out. But it sounded like Rios might have had something to do with it as well.
Yep, and that's kind of tough territory to be doing, handing the ball off a couple of times.
True.
Within your own your own red zone. But if it would have worked, might have gone for
I know, then we would be going, yes.
40 or 50 yards.
We're not Monday morning quarterbacks. We're just going to do it now.
Try not to, all right.
That's true, because
these guys down below us here on both sidelines know a whole lot more than we do.
They do, and I respect oh, my Lord, the time that these people put in helping these young men become so good at this sport and good at life from everything I hear. They just build leaders and very, very nice guys.
Well, you know, the assistants out there, Dave Snyder, Peter Blue, Scott Crow, Jared Prince, Chris Richardson, and Kyle Penthram for the Vikings. And we'll get to a list just as long as volunteers after we get the kickoff. That one can be returned, picked up on the 5-yard line, out to the 20. Oh, broke a tackle, and going to bring it out to about the 26-yard line.
That was Joshua Stackhouse, the junior.
Yeah, Joshua, 5'8", 155, maybe one of the smaller guys out there.
He found a pretty nice seam there. And had he not been taken down by the shoelaces there, could have had even more.
So the Vikings are going to start out on their own 26, 27-yard line. And there is a significant difference between the blue line and the white line. Purple line. Yep, that one didn't go too far, maybe a yard or two for Sam. We're going to give him a couple on that.
There was a tiny hole, and he was able to get something out of it.
That's kind of like, you know, in basketball, when you're that undersized player, sometimes you can go under the big guys.
You hope they don't see ya. We'll go with that one. But when you have 300 all so big on that line, there just isn't even a hole to begin with.
Well, if you just look at it, you
I
can
know.
see the physical
You can.
difference
You
out there
truly can.
between the purple and the white. Newman puts Hendon in motion, a handoff to Solis, and dropped in the backfield for a loss of yardage.
Dirk Wilson in on that tackle, and then I also saw Abraham Lucas. You can't miss Abraham Lucas.
At 6'8", 260.
So far, not a whole lot of time for things to develop.
Third down now, and it's going to be a good 11 yards to get up to that first down for the Vikings. Newman holds it, and he's got a completed pass. Oh, look out. It's not hitting the helmet.
Anthony Gurley looked like he might have come close to that helmet to helmet.
Well, it wasn't helmet to helmet, but it was certainly forearm to helmet.
Forearm to helmet, okay.
And I guess that's legal.
Or just
not
not
be.
seen, possibly. Warren back into punt.
4th down now, so North will have to kick it. Snaps high, but Kanan grabs it.
Now there's
That's a
the
good
kick we're
one.
used to.
Yeah, that's a good one. Look at that. Moves the ball, even gets a North Kitsap bounce down to the 20. It may have bounced a little further, but he was being safe.
It might have been coming back.
That's right. If that was Joel Ingram. But he'll put it on the 21-yard line. But
What
that
a
was a
kick.
good punt. Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty.
Yes, indeed.
And just remember what we talked about, it might have been Warren jumping because he had to sky a little bit to get that
You're right.
hike.
Snap was a little high, but Kanan grabbed it and put it down in midfield.
Defense has done a very admirable job out there. So many different weapons for these Wildcats.
Connor Johnson under center. And handoff over that left side. Oh, they had him, but they're going to at least slow him down. He'll maybe get a couple more yards after that, but pretty good job there to hold Colin Montez down.
Number 17, senior Chris Andrews, one of the tacklers. I think he was at the bottom of that pile.
It wasn't enough for a first down, though, as they move the ball out to the 33-yard line.
Montez, 6'1", 200 pounds.
And there was nothing fancy about that play.
No.
Just right off old left guard, left tackle position there.
He was listed as a first-team running back for the conference.
Johnson goes to the air again for that deep one, and this time it's caught and held onto.
Oh, no one in the stands like that particular move. That was Kyler Gordon. Got up and had a Viking on his back and kind of flipped him.
Yeah, where is the yellow flag?
Ooh, now one of our chain gang went down over there.
This is definitely not an Olympic League reffing crew.
Yeah, I think you would have seen a couple already tonight.
I agree. So the Wildcats move into the 35-yard line of the Vikings.
Number 2 with it.
And that's Emmanuel Osuoha.
That's one of their juniors. Gordon, who made the previous catch, also a junior. A lot of seniors on this group. And if they win, whoever wins, will play the winner of Washington and Tumwater. And Tumwater with the big story about their coach, Sid Otten, who is retiring this year, and his winning tradition.
He's been around for a long time.
Yes, he has.
Second down now for the Wildcats. Oh, up through the right side this time, man. A nice gain of yardage, another first down for the Wildcats, and they move it down to the 19-yard line of the Vikings.
Osuoha had 24 rushes for 204 yards and a touchdown this year.
Oh, apparently a penalty. I did not see a yellow flag.
Holding
hold.
once again, that helps.
Against the Wildcats. Oh, there's the flag.
There haven't been a lot in this game. There have been a couple holding calls, and that's about it. Sometimes you expect, with the excitement and the adrenaline that these guys have going on a game like this, there would be a few more offsides or procedure calls, and it's really nice to see their precision.
And I believe it's been a couple of weeks since Archbishop Murphy has played.
Well, they played last week.
Two weeks ago they played Olympic, the Trojans. Oh, yeah, they would have to have played in the
They
West
did have a
Central
district. Ooh, they
yeah.
took down the quarterback,
But
he
the
didn't still
running
have the
back
ball.
still got the ball. He is pushing his way, fighting deep into Viking territory down to the 15-yard line.
That is Montez.
Wow.
Listed at 200. I would swear he's a little bigger the way he is able to bowl through there. Montez had 28 runs for 352 yards and 8 TDs. Now remember, this is only 5 games worth because the other 5, they won those games 2-0, which I never knew was the score that they did for a forfeit in football.
So you could double pretty much that 352.
Oh, easily.
Well, first down, ball on about the 15-yard line of the Vikings. Oh, man, just power moving, power playing, number 21 that time. That was Montez, Colin Montez carrying it.
Well, and his line opening up some huge holes for him as well.
Yeah, like I said, there's not anything fancy. They're just going up over guard tackle. One's on both sides, successful on both the right and left side.
I think instead of their numbers, they should just have to put their weight on their backs, and then it'd be so much easier for us.
Johnson's got a first and goal to go.
And there's a whistle.
There's a whistle.
That was the first time I've seen him kind of mishandle a snap, but it
False start against the Wildcats, so that'll move them back 5. Still first down, though.
still a good group of fans down here cheering on the Vikings.
Yeah, they've had a good crowd all year. We've done a few games up here, and it's always great to come up to Paul's Bow and the North Kitsap Stadium and the crew up here.
Exactly. Matt Stanford, our AD, and just some great people up in the booth with us that we'll give you after this next play. Almost pushed into the end zone by the Vikings.
Brought down by Quentin Nota.
I think that was Osuoha.
2-yard line, second
The
goal.
person we really haven't seen running much yet is Anthony Gurley. They've used him on a couple screens. That's the scary part. They aren't even using all their weapons yet.
We'll bring up a second down. Ball is at, looks like about that 3-yard line.
Little under 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Oh, there was a good stop. Nice job. And I can't see quite who's getting up off the bottom of that pile, but he slowed Osuoha up enough that the rest of the guys could get in there and stop him.
I know that Chapman was pushing off some blocks out there.
So put it back at the line of scrimmage, third down now, at about 3 to go.
Our booth buddies again tonight, the PA announcer Dan Whedon, Paul Roche as a spotter, Marshall Miranda on the clock, Kelly Clark on the scoreboard, and the other spotter is Greg Meyer.
Uh-oh. Bad. Time out.
Timeout, North Kitsap, their first.
Well, they're signaling Wildcats.
I think so, but I think it was North. He was right beside the North Kitsap sideline when that happened, so we'll see.
Well, we've got a timeout here with 4:45 left to go in the second quarter, and the Wildcats lead the Vikings 10-0.
Only one of that one touchdown came on defense, and
That's
the
right.
other,
Yep.
They had the field goal. They had a missed field goal. North Kitsap, in their first drive, did a pretty good job of getting it down the field, but not able to get that first down when they went for it on 4th and about 2. And that was quite a difference in the game because of better field position.
So we want to thank the Peninsula Subaru down in Gorst. John Leonis and the folks down there have been great supporters of the Kitsap Sun streaming high school football live for the last few years, and we really appreciate that. And here on Veterans Day, what better time to stream a live game to some of the parents of these students who are anywhere around the world in the military. Oh, ball's on the ground.
It might be North Kitsap's.
I think Johnson got it. Oh, coming out of there. Let's see.
57, and where are they pointing?
I have it. The man in the... There we go. You are right.
Corey Jackson.
All right. Man, I thought the big guy, the quarterback, being 6'2", had enough length to fall on that thing.
You could tell immediately. We are in the land of binoculars up here, which is kind of fun. We have several of us with our binoculars out, so that was a nice close-up to see.
Well, once again, the North Kitsap defense.
Oh, they've
has
been
held.
huge this year. So important what they've done for this team. And considering they're pretty much the same guys that play on offense, there's not a lot of coming off the field, but that will excite their offense, no doubt.
All right, Newman goes under center to start this out for the Vikings. Got a long ways to go. And again, that reminded me of the last first down deep in there. Or a previous first down.
There's something about that play that he's not getting out.
The receiver, yeah.
Correct.
The receiver is, because they've been off by 5-6 yards easily.
That is Kai Warren, the junior, number 18, who leads the team with, I think he has 164 yards and a touchdown, only 8 receptions.
Second down now for North.
Ooh, up the middle.
Oh, some good running room. And Dak Solis moves the Vikings. First down and out to the 21-yard line.
I think it was Gurley who basically laid down and tripped him. It was an interesting tackle.
16-yard gain.
And that was right up through the middle, basically.
Vikings first and 10 on their 21.
Viking fans really would have loved to see Solis get another step because it's so much fun to watch him run.
And another step would have meant a lot of green in front
I
of
think
it.
so. This gets him out of that end zone territory.
Yeah, first down, Hendon with it. Running over to that right side and pick up a yard or two.
Actually, that was Solis
Dax.
again.
Okay.
Between 32 and 33, yeah. Oh, he did gain. I thought that was
Pick up a yard.
Okay.
Second down and 9.
Some great pursuit. We talk about the size of these guys on the Wildcats, but obviously they still have some speed to go with that size.
3:33 left to go here in the half. Man, the clock's ticking. Now North will get the ball to start out the third quarter. They won the toss and deferred.
Newman making sure everyone's lined up right. Uh-oh.
And this time a North Kitsap timeout for sure.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what where the first one was. Now, the one thing North does have going for it, they have the wind at their back. So,
Shows up on the board 2 TOLs left. So that would mean that...
It sounds like there was one from each.
Yeah.
But when you were thanking the Kitsap Sun, Doc, we definitely have to continue some thank you to them and Peninsula Subaru. Once we hit these district and state playoffs, there are fees that come with doing the live streaming, and they have been covering those fees for us. It's been a very symbiotic relationship for us. We still get to do our high school football games And the Kitsap Sun is able to put out, I think, a pretty good product every Friday night.
And most importantly, the community that's stretched out around the world here in our naval
Exactly.
community has a chance to see their son or daughter play. That's, to me, unbelievable, but wonderful.
There's the pass.
Oh,
Off the back of a head.
Yeah, that was SETI that it was intended for.
Looks like they don't have more than 11 people, but they had a lot of people out in the secondary on that one.
And those secondary guys are coming off of a position where you normally see linebackers and cornerbacks. So they're actually dropping as the play unfolds because they have a tight defensive set to begin with.
They do. They are pretty close to that line, but that must be because they trust the speed of these guys.
It looks like they're running a man-to-man on the D. Third down, yeah. Uh-oh, ball's on the ground, but I think North grabbed it.
Newman got it back.
So at least it will not be a walk into the end zone or run into the end zone. Yeah, that'll bring up 4th down, and the Vikings will have to kick it. 2:30 left to go here in the first half.
Number 14, Anthony Gurley going back. See if he's gone back far enough this time.
Oh, another good punt. Picked up at about the 42 by Gurley to the 50, the 40. He's got a head of steam and runs down to about the 34-yard line.
That is number 2, Alex Sanchez, bringing him down. And Alec is listed, it says 5'8", 200, so he's about the same size, but a little bit shorter.
And Anthony had a head of steam. He was running hard on that one. So a couple minutes here, 2-minute drill for the Wildcats if they have one.
I watched the blocker back here who made sure he didn't do a block in the back for Archbishop.
First down. Fake the handoff to the first man. Second man takes it up through the center, and that's Colin Montez. Noda in on another one on that D.
Noda is extremely important to this defense. He and Brooks are the sack leaders and just always so many tackles out of them. Desmond Heath actually leads the team with 68 tackles.
Pickup of a couple yards, 2nd down and 8. Gurley in motion. Johnson wants to go to the air.
There's a flag.
But it's all going to come to a halt. And we'll see what this one is. Way they're pointing, it's going to go against the Wildcats.
Pretty much had to be a dead ball foul the way they
Procedure.
blew the whistle.
False start, it looks like. Now they'll have 2nd down again, but move back 5. It's now 2nd down and about 14 to go. Ball is going to be put on the 37.
1:28 remaining.
Johnson back in the gun with nobody back there. Gurley crosses in front. Out to a wide receiver position. And Johnson wants to go to the air. And they got their man on the sideline.
It's going to be an illegal block. Oh, fumble possibly.
The receiver was Desi Carey on that. There's a flag up, and we'll see what that one is.
Pretty sure it was like a clip or a block in the back. So far, the yellow hankies moving him backwards.
Yeah, block in the back, an illegal block in the back against the Wildcats. And you just mentioned the play or two before the
who had done such a nice
blocker had
job. Yep.
held off. Well, this time he didn't.
It might have been a different player.
It could have been, yeah.
I did see Gurley going across the middle pretty open, trying to get the attention of his quarterback, but he was being chased by a few guys in purple and trying to take his best option there.
Ball will be placed on the 38-yard line, remain second down.
All this action brought to you by Spencer on the camera.
Yes, indeed.
We would be nowhere without Spencer Anderson.
Well, moving back 5, there's Archbishop Murphy timeout.
And again, it would be wind in their faces, so that might make a difference on field goal attempts.
Just over a minute to go, and they've got a ways to go for the first down. They've got to get down to about the 24-yard line of North Kitsap to get a first down.
Archbishop Murphy, coached by Jerry Jensen, Tony Duncan, Hugh Gurley.
Text from somebody who's watching the game. Someone in front of the camera should be told that their hand gestures block the view.
Jake Herigstad, Damian Holman, Josh Jansen, Mark Leone, Martin Napiahi, Tony Slater, William Woodworth, Matt Wright, and I thought North Kitsap had a ton of guys.
Second down now. About 20. Johnson's going up. He wanted to go to the air.
That's an
Straight
offside.
drop back.
Pretty sure the receiver on the outside took off a little bit too soon.
Yep. I'll start. So ABTM has been having a little problem here with these fouls.
They're moving
The
backwards.
penalties being tagged up to them, penalty yardage. And oh no, has North had one called against them yet?
Well, that's an awfully good question,
I don't
Doc.
know. I don't
Considering
remember what.
they had several last week, and that was one of the things that Coach Weibel wanted cleaned
Exactly.
up.
So far, it looks like they've done a pretty good job.
Johnson, an opportunity to show off that arm one more time. And they got him down.
And drops the quarterback.
Chris Andrews, the senior, bringing him down.
And Chris Andrews last year was the quarterback on this squad.
And now doing what he has to do to help his team.
Third down, and the ball is back on the Archbishop Murphy 30 or 44-yard line. Third down and a long ways to go. And another whistle.
There are 3.8 seconds. I think we get a timeout by North. Dave Snyder out there with his troops.
Excuse me, it's third and 30.
Third and 31, Doc. And this time it wasn't the yellow flag that moved him back. It was the incredible play by Chris Andrews.
That was great getting into the backfield. And
There were about three
meant-
others. Yeah.
meant also that the defense did a good job covering the receivers.
That is correct, because he didn't have enough time to find somebody.
Man, he spent some time running around back there before those guys got to him and brought him down.
Plus, it made the clock run, which is a good sign.
That's true. 38 seconds.
3.8, I believe, Doc. You can't see the dot, but I think so.
Third down, and the ball is on the 45-yard line of Murphy. Got to get down to the 24 of North to get a first down here. And there's that long pass. Oh,
He caught that.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir!
I thought we had a intercept on that one.
That was number 1, Kyler Gordon.
2 defenders right there, and it looked like either one of them had the better chance than the offensive receiver.
That was an Odell Beckham moment, or a
Man.
Jimmy Graham moment, let me tell you.
I'd like to see that one in slow-mo replay.
That was a 56-yard pass with 3.8 seconds left.
Murphy, the Wildcats attempt the PAT here. And that one looks like it's up and through. So, a quick score at the end of the first half puts Archbishop Thomas Murphy up 17-0 over the North Kitsap Vikings here in round 1 of the WIAA State 2A tournament. And both of the touchdowns, Kitty, have come on either that fumble and into the end zone or that pretty remarkable catch.
That was a spectacular catch, and boy, the air has just kind of come out of this stadium right now. It's probably really good we have a halftime for them to remotivate and
That's
see.
right.
Because
Get some of those burgers down there, hot dogs.
Had some great defense leading up to that, and really they had the man covered, but it was just a great effort by Kyler Gordon, the junior.
Yeah. Well, anyway, good job by the Wildcats, and so far the North Kitsap Vikings are hanging in there with them, even though they are down as we go into halftime. Well, I'm the Dr. Parr. Spencer Anderson's on the camera, Kitty Campagna on the other microphone, and thanks to the Kitsap Sun for streaming it live, the game of the week, and we will bring that second half to you shortly.
Quick announcement, everybody. The North Kitsap Pee Wee B-String Championship is tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Silverdale Stadium. North Kitsap Pee Wees will be playing North Perry. Again, North Kitsap Pee Wee B-String Championship tomorrow at 1, Silverdale Stadium.
Dad, set up your mailbox.
Oh, I know, right?
Set up your mailbox.
I don't even want to talk about it.
soccer plays tomorrow, 4 p.m. at Columbia River. In the state tournament, again, girls soccer, North Kitsap girls soccer tomorrow, 4 p.m. versus Columbia River. Viking fans, we want to welcome. West Sound TV tonight is doing the game press box. Do it for the Kitsap Sun. To start the second half, the Vikings will receive the ball. Ryan Henderson will kick off for Archbishop Murphy.
Welcome back to West Sound TV's presentation of high school football. Round one of the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association 2A football playoff tournament up here in Paulsbo at North Kitsap Stadium, and brought to you live by the Kitsap Sun and Peninsula Subaru. I'm the doctor, Doc Parr. Spencer Anderson's on the camera, Kitty Campagna on the other mic, and Kitty, as we get ready to begin the third quarter on basically two plays. The Archbishop Thomas Murphy Wildcats and the white and red out there lead our Vikings 17-0.
Doc, we were pretty convinced we were going to go into halftime 10-0, and 17-0 is nothing. That's not bad. We've seen North Kitsap have some huge second halves. They average about 35 points a game, so they have some averaging to come out here in the second half, and they just need to see what they can get going against this tough defense.
And the Wildcats kick off, picked up at about the 7-8 yard line. Ooh, good tackle there in the open field. But the Vikings still will bring it out a little ways. They'll get a few yards on that return.
They've only been, I think, in Archbishop Murphy's territory once. But they've done a pretty good job trying to get it some yardage and at least changing field position.
Tristan Newman out there, and the Vikings won the toss, deferred, so they are on offense to begin with, and the ball is just inside that 20-yard line. Pick up some yardage. In fact, a pretty good pickup to start out the first one with.
Abraham Lucas bringing him down.
That's a good pickup. 8.
Number 5, Bryce Woolerchuk bringing in the play.
Now, there have been sometimes this season where we have seen North Kitsap wait until the second half to
That is correct.
turn on the strong afterburners. Well, we'll see. Second down and a couple to go here for the first down.
I keep waiting for that one where Solis runs across the middle.
That's
as
the
a
one
receiver.
where Solis tried to run through the middle, and unfortunately did not work out. There's going to be a loss of a yard or two on that one, and that'll bring up third down. Yeah, maybe they'll give him close to back to the original line of scrimmage.
Luke Riojas getting up from the bottom of the pile as one of the tacklers.
Oh boy. And again, Dak Solis gets taken down. And there's a yellow hanky. Actually, there's 2 of them.
Number 5, Ben Hines, one of the tacklers. He was the defensive MVP for the Cascade Conference. The Vikings are clapping like this might go against the Wildcats, possibly unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. On the Archbishop Murphy.
There has been a little bit of that extracurricular activity going on.
Well, that'll give North Kitsap a first down and move them further out of their own territory, towards further up their own territory, shall we say, up to about the 39-yard line. First down for North Kitsap.
As we ended that first half, Archbishop Murphy had quite a few different penalties that put him back several yards. I think it was just so they could have the longer pass.
Yeah, the 56-yarder.
Exactly.
First down. Newman pitches back, and a little bit of running room this time. And that was Sam Hendon getting close to first down. And again, another nice first play of the series.
Exactly. Pretty much each of these guys, when you get to their average for the 4 running backs, they average around a first down when they run.
Man, this time Dax and Sam trading places. Dax coming in from the sideline. Woolercheck is split out to this near side. Second down, couple yards to go for a first. Uh-oh, ball is loose.
Oh,
And the Wildcats are signaling they've got it. We haven't seen an official signal yet.
it rolled around a
There's
lot.
the
Yep.
official signal, and the second fumble recovery tonight for the Archbishop Murphy Wildcats. Just when it looks like North Kitsap has got some momentum going.
Exactly, and the other thing, North is the team that forces turnovers typically. I believe this Archbishop Murphy group only has 3 turnovers on the year, but again, that's only 5 games that they've played, or so.
And that started out bad. It was a, ball was out of control basically from the
snap
on. Well, first down now for the Wildcats. Oh, Johnson had an open man. In fact, he had 2 open men. Anthony was on this near side and wondered why the ball wasn't thrown to him.
It's pretty obvious he demands that ball some. It did look like there was illegal procedure once again, but not called that time. They get off that line really quick.
Well, and of course, you old folks from Kitsap County remember the Wildcats, the West High Wildcats, West High School of Bremerton.
I was thinking High School Musical, Doc. Isn't that what you were talking about?
I've never seen the Wildcats, the musical. Oh, Johnson goes up under center here. And up to Montez. Man, he bounces off people and just keeps pushing a pile.
Looks like he's got enough for the first down, and he does.
And he's not the biggest of guys out there. He's 200 pounds, but man, he is strong. Of course, that's one thing we don't have, what they're lifting in the weight room and all those kind of stats.
Those stats, exactly. What we do have came from Max Prep, so we always appreciate that website.
Back in the gun. And this time, that was intended for Anthony Gurley on that one, out of bounds.
I think he failed to have the stickum on his hands for that particular one.
That would have been a pretty tough catch. That was a fast pass.
It was.
He had a lot of mustard on that, as they say.
Mr. Johnson with quite the arm out there. He's listed at 6'2", 215 pounds. I was watching his backup, or I don't know if he's the actual backup, but when they were doing passing drills, they had the freshman Logan Grassett at 6'3", 180 and left-handed.
And again, up to the air.
Not going any farther.
Let's see if they're going to rule with a completion.
North Kitsap fans in disagreement.
It was Singh Hoffman on that one.
That was one of the seniors. His brother was one of the leading seniors for this squad last year. They didn't lose many of them. There was Jackson, Bailey Singhoppen, and not many more. Austin Earl.
Third down now with about 5 to go for the first. And, well, he did not get it on that one. So we may have another opportunity here to take a look at the kicker from the Wildcats.
Still will have some wind in his face. There's no wind meter on those flags. They seem to be blowing slightly less than earlier in this game. We hear that some of our video tonight has some hands in front of it, and we certainly don't want to discourage those fans. So it's only happened a couple times. We do our best.
A little crackle and pop.
And a little crackle and pop, yeah.
That we don't have that big ESPN RV, 200 or 300 people.
Henderson there for the kick.
And that one looks like it's right through the uprights.
Field goal is good, 37 yards.
That one's a 37-yard field goal.
Puts 3 on the board, and the Wildcats go to 20. So 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns in the ball game tonight for Archbishop Thomas Murphy. And you keep referring to the fact that they've only played 5 games this season, which I think is really a shame. I feel sorry for the kids and the coaches and all the folks who put in so much time on that Archbishop Murphy team. The forfeitures that the other teams had were basically based on a concept that they were afraid their players were going to get hurt by bigger players on Archbishop Murphy, and you got to take a chance. You're going to, it's a tough game out there. It's not, a no-contact sport.
Slightly.
So there will be injuries, and frankly, I'm really happy to see, I was really happy to see Olympic go over there to Everett and take them on and give these guys a game.
Well, North Kitsap actually, they are in this game. They've definitely given them a game, and in the districts when they finally had to play, they beat Burlington Edison 55-6, and that was the first team to have scored on them all year.
And it's going to be picked up at about the 5-yard line. Out to again, a nice open field tackle.
That extra twist at the end, though, is not really necessary.
Kind of like a shark or a gator, alligator, and they grab onto. Not that I know personally. I've seen.
Fortunately, yeah, we've seen it on TV.
Yeah. But really, the real point of it is, I think these other schools want the WIAA to do something about the fact that Archbishop Murphy is a private school, not a public school, and therefore they have no restrictions on where their players can come from.
That is part of the issue. Part of the issue is that there's 1A teams as well in this division, and so that's even smaller that you're looking at. So it's just looking at the fairness of what they've set up, and a part of it's location, obviously.
Yeah, trying to get some yardage, but not coming up with much as Dax. Well, yeah, part of it is that, but I think the WIAA does have to deal with this issue.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think it's a fair playing field when you can't recruit and you have to have people from you can't go out and get, people from Los Angeles to come on up and play high school football.
So,
yeah, we got an injury there to a North Kitsap player.
cannot see a number at the moment. The certified athletic trainer up here is Julie Leslie.
Do you know who the other teams in that Cascade Christian League are?
I do. I have it in front of me, but I have to put on the other set of glasses, Doc. Because I will tell you, we have Kings, Granite Falls, Sultan, Cedar Crest Park Christian, and South Whidbey. And so Archbishop Murphy 6-0 in league. Points for that they had were 8 because they played 4 league games and they got 1-2-0 on all those. So that it's such a strange looking set of stats. Points against 0. They are obviously at 10-0 otherwise.
And you said it's a combo 1A, 2A league.
I believe it is.
Yeah, you know, that certainly would have something to do with it, but I think the WIAA is going to have to deal with it. Uh-oh, this is not good. Dax is limping off with some help. Definitely not putting any weight on that. Looks like the left leg.
Oh, yeah, you are correct.
And the training staff helping him off the field. And boy, I sure hope he's not hurt seriously because he's been such a pleasure to watch. Only a junior, so he'll be back next year.
He had some injury issues last year as well, but this is a tough time to get it. They're missing some of their trainers because they are girls who are on their volleyball team that is playing in the state tournament. They played today. Unfortunately, they lost to Woodlands 3-2 in their first match, but then they beat Stillicum 3-1 and will play tomorrow at 9 a.m. against the winner of the Bellingham-Sela matchup.
Yeah, that's at St. Martin's in Olympia. Now, if they do win, they will continue.
Oh, here comes a flag. Because they lost in the first round, the best they can do is 7th.
Okay.
But certainly still something. They have gone to state for the last, I believe, 5 out of 6 years, and just a great job that Tim French has done. And the group as a whole, they have really built just a community of volleyball players.
Yeah, 1 year made it to that championship
They did.
match.
I remember that we were here at the time.
Yeah, the North Kitsap volleyball team has been always great to watch, fun to be around and support their efforts. Coach Tim French.
But congratulations to, and then the North Kitsap soccer team is playing tomorrow as well in the state tournament. So pretty impressive program if you remember how well the guys basketball team did, and even the girls basketball team went quite a ways last year.
Guys made it to regional. And Tristan's wants to throw.
Oh, over the back.
I would say there has to be a flag on that.
Oh,
Oh man, you could way before the ball got there.
most certainly.
Defender was on the back.
I realize I have a better perspective from up here, and maybe what he's saying, he was going for the ball, but it certainly wasn't the case.
You can't go through the other player for the ball.
No, there's rules against that, Doc, but it looks like that's not going to be called, and
Oh,
Warren will be
man.
on to punt.
Yeah, that one. That's the biggest disagreement so far I have. And this one, oh, pretty good punt. That's going to go out of bounds at about the 45-yard line or so.
Punt goes out of bounds.
It does keep them from getting any return on those, which is a good thing. And that was a great punt. It really was. Number 4 looked all ready to bring her back. Or 14, sorry.
Anferny Gurley. Well, can you believe it's the last game of the season, 2016 season, for us up here at, in Kitsap County. We've been at North Kitsap last 2 weeks, which has been great.
Well, we appreciate that our local teams have made it. They make it to the districts and have had home games for us, and then to continue on and again have a home game is great for us.
And against the #1 team in the state of Washington.
That's all.
Oh, man. That was Gurley. And it would be tough to get in front of him and try to stop him.
Desmond Heath, one of them, bringing him down. He's only listed at 5'8", 180, but he leads the team with 68 tackles.
Wow. So that'll move the Wildcats into North Kitsap territory. Ball's at the 42. First down for ABTM.
There's some spinning.
And hopping. Jumping and spinning. And that again was Montez. He's done the vast majority of their ball carrying tonight.
He really has, and I kept expecting, I know they were worried so much about Gurley, but I think Gurley is more of a weapon as a receiver from what I'm seeing tonight.
Now we've got about 4:40 left to go in the third quarter. 20-0 lead for the Wildcats over the Vikings. And it's a handoff this time to Gurley, and he's going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage, or just beyond.
Noda bringing him down.
That was a good shot by Quentin.
Dan Whedon loves that name. Quentin Noda.
And you know, Gurley is another big man, a big young man out there, 185, 5'11", but he just seems so powerful. Like I said, it'd be interesting to see how much these guys are working in the weight room. Oh boy, split way out. They've got a split receiver on both sides, but it's going to be a pass.
Intercepted!
Great pick.
That was John Setti. He had 3 interceptions coming into tonight's contest. That's number 4.
Nice pick, and they have come close on a couple of those Johnson passes to grabbing them.
That was great work in the secondary, giving North Kitsap a chance. They trailed 20-0.
So they will take over. Again, the defensive effort tonight has been great. The 2 touchdowns have come on single scores, single plays, I mean.
And one was a defensive touchdown. They held them to field goals
of a
twice.
Fumble recovery. And over the left side, there's some running room. Hendon picks up a few on that one. Looks like they'll give him about 4.
We haven't seen too much of Zach Clark actually carrying the ball, or
You're right.
Jormo, and obviously with Solis on the sideline, that they might get a little bit more work.
Yeah, and I do not see Dax. There's a lot of guys in purple down there on that
Certainly
sideline,
are.
which is always great for the program to be able to have numbers to work with. Pitch
Ran that
back,
one quick.
Hendon, and puts his head down, and maybe going to lose a yard on that one.
Ben Hines bringing him down.
Third down now, and either a long 6 or 7.
Hines leads the Wildcats with 45 tackles, and again, remember, these are 5-game stats, so we're probably looking at more like 90 on a full year.
And off again to Hendon, and he'll pick up maybe, well, they're going to put it just about where they started the original line of scrimmage, maybe even a loss of half a yard.
Wow, they must have called his knee down back there.
4th down now, unfortunately. Once again, the Wildcat defense holds the Vikings. They will have to boot it away.
This time it's Chris Andrews back there who is their backup quarterback. So this is an interesting play.
And yes, indeed, they had no intention of kicking it. Andrews has got an arm, and unfortunately, he put it to the wrong spot. Anthony Gurley grabbed it. And you know, out there actually, Kai Warren was out there in the general area.
Well, and it was like they really weren't looking back for the ball. It was an interesting play. But I did kind of guess there's a possibility of a fake on that one.
Probably, you know, not much worse than where the punt would have
That's
ended
correct.
up at. They are going to start out on their own 35-yard line.
That's actually one of them. Unless he knew he had a good run back, it would have been better for him to just knock it down.
Well, the Wildcats take over. And look out. Oh, on the shoestrings there. Good job that time by stopping Montez. Right down on the ankle tackle on that one.
9 yards, 2nd down and 1.
Now we'll move them out to the 44-yard line, and we have 1:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter up here in Paulsbo.
That was, excuse me, that was Hendon with the takedown at the shoelaces.
And another flag. Stops the action before it begins.
Not sure exactly what we're getting on screen, but boy, these Archbishop Murphy fans travel well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tents out that they have set up. They certainly come in droves as well, and they really support this team.
Well, they're all the way the field length up and down the sidelines there. Which is always part of having a successful athletic program, is to have the school and the fans behind you.
At first, I thought they were like selling merchandise over there. I pulled out my binoculars and went, no, those are just like parents sitting there.
I like the one in the stands.
There's a really long one they have there that they were predicting rain and they came prepared.
Oh, that one. Now, let's see. Who moved first? The way they're facing it looks like might be another procedure. Offsides against North on this one.
Chapman thought someone had moved.
And I think that is probably, as I remember, the first penalty against North tonight.
I think you're right. If nothing else, Coach Weibel has to be impressed with how they cleaned that up.
Yeah, they certainly did a nice job from last week. They had pretty well control of the game against Orting, but probably a few too many penalties.
Well, a lot of them were personal fouls, so this is really nice to see.
Second down now for the Wildcats and about a foot to go for a first. Johnson throws out to that flat area on the left side, cutting back inside. Look out, there's a man loose.
Oh, and he makes another turn.
Nice cut there. And going into the end zone is Kyler Gordon. Wow.
That's one of the first times they've used him in the flat like that. He was also our gentleman who caught that remarkable pass at the end of the half.
Well, another 6 go on the board for the Wildcats as we're getting ready. We have wrapped up the 3rd quarter. There are zeros up there on the clock. And it looks like they will do the PAT here with don't need any time on a PAT.
Remarkable, both of those are 56-yard pass completions. 2 very different plays, same result.
PAT coming up. And through Ooh, yep. The uprights. Look pretty good. Well, at the end of 3, the Wildcats put another TD on the board and lead the Vikings 27-0. Here we go. The final quarter up here at North Kitsap Stadium in round number 1 of the WIAA 2A State Championship Football Tournament. And the Archbishop Thomas Murphy Wildcats lead our North Kitsap Vikings 27-0. I'm the Dr. Doc Parr. Spencer Anderson's on the camera. Kitty Campagna on the other mic. And thanks to the Kitsap Sun, we're streaming it live.
Doc, you said deja vu, man. This is the exact score that they beat North Kitsap by last year, so that would mean they would have to stop them. But instead, I am sure that North Kitsap would like to put some points up on that board. Really tough to come in at ranked number 6, have to go against the number 1. None of that makes a whole lot of sense when you're trying to figure out what they did with those 16 teams that started today. But it is hard to rank them every time because I think strength of schedule is crazy because you really have little or no control over that. And the way that the WCD3 does it every year, they change who's going to end up with that number 1, number 2, number 3 by who came out as the number 1 seed out of the different Olympic League, etc. So that may not be the right way, but at least seems to be a little bit more fair.
And the Wildcats booted in the air. Picked up right on the goal line there, and a nice run back, 25, 30.
It's Chris.
40. And senior Chris Andrews takes it into Wildcat territory.
He is brought down by Desi Carey, number 9.
And you know, we've followed North Kitsap for a few years into the postseason, and I think this is probably one of the best all-around teams that they have had over those years.
I think what they lack a little bit this year is they really haven't developed a huge passing game. They haven't needed it. They have such a great group of running backs, but they have done so well with the way they've mixed that up. They aren't using the screen as much as they have some other nights, but if that's not open, certainly that is a setup for a pick 6. So I'm sure they know what they're doing out there. I did see Dax Solis running on the sideline. I think he's
good to see.
Pleading his case.
That's good to see that he's up and moving.
Yeah, even if he doesn't play again.
First down for Tristan Newman and the Vikings. Oh, it's the double. Anders has got an open receiver. Oh, just off the fingertips of Keenan Warren.
I think we have a flag.
There is a flag down at the 5-yard line. And we'll have to see what this one is because I didn't see interference on that one.
Well, it looked like they might have been on him quite a bit.
Pass interference against the Wildcats. Now, unfortunately, it's not like a pro game, so they're not going to get the ball down on the 5-yard line and an automatic first.
But they should have get the 15-yard penalty.
Which would give them a first.
And it is a first down.
I like that play. You've got the two quarterbacks out there working in conjunction with each other. Keenan almost had that.
It came very close. I was watching Andrews at halftime. He was warming up. So I at first thought they might be wanting to switch up quarterbacks, but that was a great way to get them both involved.
First down, ball on the 35-yard line. And go to the air again to Kanan. And that one's a rush.
I think he'll be out of bounds. Boy, that was a nasty hit at the end.
That was close. That was very close to being a reception.
Great catch by Warren.
And yeah, that came close.
North Kitsap fans not too happy, but I do believe he was out of bounds. There's no doubt about that. And whether he was forced or whether he was out on his own no longer means anything.
Well, second down. And Vantage Dax is back in there, but doesn't get much. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and the forward progress. And that big old number 72 out there that's Mr. Lucas, Abraham Lucas.
I tell you, the running backs have met him personally tonight, and when you meet up with 6'8", 260 pounds, that is painful. Lucas was first team offensive line and defensive line for the Cascade League.
Well, third down now for the Vikings. Ball is at the Wildcat 35. Oh, look out. And I don't think that was an intended quarterback keeper, but I don't know that Tristan had much of a choice.
There weren't a lot of options there. I couldn't even figure out where he was at first.
Benny picked up about 2-3 yards on it, but fortunately it's fourth down. Ball down to about the 31-yard line, and I don't know that Kanan's going to try this one.
No, I'm sure you're down 27-0. You are going to go for it.
Yeah, you're right. It's fourth down time. Bunch of receivers over on that far side. In fact, nobody in the backfield, and whistle.
I'm thinking maybe delay of game.
Oh, could be. Oh,
time
out.
That avoided the delay of game at least.
That was probably what was happening. It was probably getting right down on the clock there. And again, we at that high school, at least here, we don't have a play clock on each end of the field.
No, we have the guy in the black hat who stands back there, puts his hand up with 5 seconds left on his clock.
Yep, the back judge. Well, 27-0 for the number one team in the 2A division in the state of Washington, leading our North Kitsap Vikings. But once again, the Vikings make it into postseason. They had a pretty good game last week against Orton, taking care of business there in the districts.
Yeah, they got their revenge on Orton for sure, and I'm sure we're hoping for some revenge on Archbishop Murphy. And then if Archbishop Murphy ends up playing Tumwater in this next game, that is who they want to beat.
Okay, fourth down. And Newman's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Not much he could do. I don't think his opening, or that he could see the opening if it was out there.
Nope. And so that will be a turnover on downs in favor of Archbishop Murphy.
Newman listed at 5'9", just a little bit shorter, kind of tough to see some of the things happening downfield, but he has done such a good job as quarterback this year in managing the many different aspects of this offense. A lot of it obviously is handing off, but they go with the pitches. He's had some good passing times, not called on to do that as much because they were able to dominate on the ground.
First down for ABTM. And the handoff goes over to the right-hand side, and dragging again a ton of players along for yardage. Oh, it's a fumble over on that far side. right in front of the bench.
So I was just going to say they take forever to blow the whistle because these guys just keep moving it forward a little bit more, and this time he tried for too much, and it goes back to North Kitsap.
And I'm not sure, was it Kanan who grabbed it?
I have no idea. All I know is they came out of there looking happy.
Well, yeah, I saw a ton of blue or purple and a ton of white. So a turnover in favor of North this time. Fumble recovery, and North takes over at the Wildcat 43-yard line. Up into the air, open receiver, and it was intended for Hendon.
And of course, whether that was interference discussion going on up in the booth.
Yeah, that one I wouldn't.
That one looked like a little bit cleaner for sure.
Yeah, than that one where Anthony went over the back. Well, bring up second down now and 10 for the Vikings.
North Kitsap opening up their playbook, trying a variety of things. When we were mentioning linemen, I don't think I brought up Roger Chris or Dominic Perez, a couple of the mainstays on the line for North Kitsap. Oh, Lord.
Look out. Yep, nowhere to go, and big old number 72, Abraham Lucas.
I have him for only 16 tackles on the year. I think he has that many tonight.
He's getting close to it.
He has lived in that backfield.
And he is quick. He's a big man and quick.
Well, as I said, last year he was a tight end, and same size. I looked to see if he was smaller in any means. He was 6'8", 260, and they used him in a tight end position. Obviously quick enough to do that and big enough to take people with him.
Yeah, I can think of a number of college teams that could use a 6'8" tight end.
6'8", anything they'll take at this point.
Third down now for the Vikings.
North Kitsap rearranging their lineup.
So where am I supposed to go? And timeout called from the sideline.
Coach noticing that there was a little bit of confusion out there.
It appears so. Did we get the volunteers yet?
We did not.
Cedric Andrews, Steve Chris, Paul Ingram, Scott Knutson, Bronco Barnum, Brendan Gill, and the coach himself, Jerry Parrish.
And of course, there's always Virgil Taylor in the stands. I know I've made it to North as I walk past and wave up
See
to him.
Virgil.
Sitting, he's in that first row because he's smart enough not to climb all the stairs. I'll tell you that.
Yes, indeed. Many, many years ago, I think in the early days when I started out, Virgil might have been the AD at that point.
Well, I miss him for no other reason than, well, I just miss him being part of the program. But he always sent me stats. I always had all kinds of good details on these North Kitsap guys.
But he'd usually give us opening defense and offense. Oh, Andrews.
Oh,
he's going to get dropped.
Got to blow a whistle.
Chris Andrews
first is
dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Isn't there a in the grasp?
I don't really think they have much of that, and I think that's Anthony that's down on the ground.
Yeah.
No, it's 54.
Oh, okay.
Jackson Yost.
I mean, there really wasn't any reason to continue.
No.
And the results usually end up with something like that, somebody getting hurt.
Yost with 24 tackles on the year, 5 sacks, first team offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah, it's going to bring up fourth down, and North Kitsap will have to boot it.
Again, it's Andrews, so we'll see if that is the plan. I remember him punting last year, so he is a punter as well.
It's actually Kanan.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
And he is, I don't know why the punter is just down.
Ball is down about the 20-yard line.
Oh, he's holding his
That's
shoulder.
John Setti.
That's, yeah. And I believe Seti may have been the blocker for Canaan. Oh, man. And I didn't actually see the play where
I didn't
he was
either.
injured on.
I know that Setti's a senior, 6 foot, 165.
And it'll take the ball back to the Wildcats 20-yard line where they will start out here with 8 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in the ball game. Johnson with the handoff. Oh, there's some good D there.
You can see the attempts to strip at this point.
And Noda was one of the first ones in there on that for the purple and gold gang.
Second down, 4 after 6-yard gain.
I see Carson Bauer in there as well. So many of these seniors absolutely playing so well every year. They come in here undefeated, 10-0, and this looks like unless something pretty serious happens, this might be the end of their season.
And like Coach Weibel said, he would probably prefer not to play the number 1 team in the first round.
Right.
But you're probably going to have to go up against them or somebody better.
Well, there
as you go on.
Once you hit this part, there are some really good teams out there.
Ah, that's the first quick pass across the middle, and it pays off big time. Kyler Gordon. That's that old Brett Favre pass right there. The crossing runner or crossing receiver.
Well, Gordon on the year had 10 receptions, 322 yards, and 5 TDs, and he's had 2 TDs tonight.
Well, and looks like he may be limping off the field. Both teams have, some of them at least, have gold shoes. First down for the Wildcats. Oh, look out. That line, it must be getting tired, Kitty.
Well, they
Wow.
play both offense and defense, and
Yeah,
suddenly you
that's
bring
true.
bring a different running back. I think it was Montez again. And
No, I think it was Oso-Uho.
oh, okay.
Oso-Uho.
He too has had a good evening.
Yes, he has. First down, ball at the Viking 35-yard line for the Wildcats, who at this point I would think might just want to keep it on the ground for the next 7 or 8 minutes. 6.5, actually.
This is one of they've actually had to play a full game, so that's got to be something new for these guys. Number 8 with that.
I'm going to say a new runner. Uh-oh, we've got a flag down. And I think it might be a face mask, unfortunately.
That was Ray Pimentel with the carry.
Penalty marker down. Face mask, North Kitsap.
We did just hear face mask North Kitsap.
And that will give them 15, yep, against the Vikings.
Well, I think in high school you can actually have just a 5-yarder, so we'll see which one it is.
Well, that's what it appears to be, Kitty. Not the 15-yard version.
Because they did not signal personal foul with it,
That's
so
correct.
that was
You're
why.
right. Yeah.
That was how one of the halves ended last time, and I was so confused. And Dan Whedon explained that to me.
All right. First down and 5 now for the Wildcats. Clock continues to tick here in the fourth quarter. And it's going deep, wide open receiver down there, and number 82 is into the end zone. That would be Paul Shireman, another senior out there. And he's had 3 receptions with 97 yards and 1 TD, so add another one to his scorebook.
Ryan Henderson into attempt to point out.
Henderson trying to keep his PATs perfect. Ooh, I don't think he came across. I didn't see any flags.
Almost looked like a blitz.
Exactly.
But yes, he is still perfect on PATs. Nice job, Mr. Henderson, Ryan Henderson. Well, that makes the score 34 for the Wildcats, and unfortunately 0 on the board for the Vikings. Sure would be nice to see him put some points on the board before the end of this one.
That is correct. And what we've seen so far is this defense for Archbishop Murphy. Somebody scored 6 points. That was Burlington Edison, and I think at that point they already had some of their second and third team players in there. But they are so big and so fast and really hard to get any yardage on.
And they don't do a whole lot of fancy stuff.
No, they aren't blitzing there.
Nope.
But when you have Abraham in there, he's just creates so much havoc that you really have a tough time, because if nothing else, even trying to throw over someone who's 6'8", really tough.
And I believe, as I remember, the 2A size schools are 500 to 1,000 approximately student population.
I don't know the exact numbers for it. They've tried to even out each of the divisions, so that number kind of changes every year. Or not every year.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yep. Well, we've mostly got 2A schools here in the county now, except for 3A, Central Kitsap and Bainbridge. They're still in Kitsap County. And the 4A,
South Kitsap.
But most of the rest of the teams are 2A. Olympic League is now 2A for football, a 2A team combined with Nisqually. The Nisqually 2A is over there. And so there actually is a separate 1A for football.
Yes. So with 5:51 remaining, it's 34-0. We at least have gotten off the deja vu score, but that is not what North Kitsap would have liked. I am really impressed with their effort. I think you are correct at this point. It's something of a fatigue factor. When you're going up against those big bodies, you can block for only so long. For those of you who are old-time TV fans, we have the All Gunsmoke group up here this evening. Doc and I have always made fun of it, Doc and Miss Kitty, but we have Marshall. It's not Marshall Dillon. Marshall Miranda.
Oh, and the ball on the ground again, and the Wildcats are going to come away with it. Well, does that make, what's that make Spencer? Is he Festus?
I don't know if which of the above he might be. I think he's a little cooler than Festus by far.
I think so too.
Dennis Weaver character. I can't think of what his name was, but
he was the before Festus.
Yes. Yep. Well, unfortunately, that fumble going to the Wildcats.
So he'll take over at the North Kitsap 20-yard line with 5:44 left to go in the ball game. Well, you know, we got to thank Mother Nature. This has been, I think, probably one of the best weather years I remember for the football season, starting September 5, going through the middle of November.
Well, even when I've been indoors, I've had to go to the long underwear at some point, and not this year. Whistles again.
Yep. We did have our wettest October in history, but it wasn't cold.
Well, and it wasn't so much on the football field as when we were watching them. We didn't have a lot of rain, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think really only one game there at Silverdale Stadium had a fairly good downpour, but other than that, it's just been a pretty nice fall.
Friday Night Lights, quite perfect.
Friday Night Lights, yes indeed.
When we thanked all the North Kitsap people, including the AD, Matt Stanford, I have to make sure I thank Jackie Bergman, who is the athletic secretary. She's always making sure we're on the pass list and just making sure we get the newest roster, along with Coach Weibel. He's always sending that to me. So I appreciate that feedback that I get from these different people working with the kids.
That always gives us something more to talk about. And, you know, the more of each kid, each player that we can say something good about, I like.
Oh, we love that. We're impressed with these student athletes.
It impressed me that the football guys pick up after the basketball players. I did not know that.
I learn things every time I'm up here. Marshall shared that information with me.
Yeah, basketball season is coming up. Can you believe it?
Well, Gonzaga's playing tonight. I don't think it's anyone overly. It better not be someone who would beat them, but of course I'm DVRing that.
I haven't seen the new version of the Zags. Is this our first? Is it a? Must not be a league game. Must
It's
be
not league.
opening
It's like
season.
Southern Utah or something.
Ah, okay.
Ooh, quite a few bodies flying over there.
Down close to that goal, inside the 10, and I think they will. Well, they're going to mark it on the 10, which is just about the first down marker.
Ball will be placed at the 10-yard line.
Well, and again, it was great last year to be able to follow the North Kitsap basketball teams into postseason, and Coach Scott Orness, Coach Penny Ginger doing a great job up here for the Vikings.
If you look at their overall program, they would win the University Cup there, whatever it is that they have in the NCAAs. They're going to earn the high school cup for Kitsap County by far.
And Johnson's still in at quarterback.
And the North Kitsap fans still in full voice.
And going in for the first down. And Zach Clark, the first guy in on that tackle. And, you know, we haven't called Zach's name much at all tonight.
I think he's been in on some tackles. They might have done the, well, when you just aren't getting a push off the line, it is hard to get him in there running too much. And then they had to change to a whole lot more passing.
First down, ball on the North Kitsap 5 for the Wildcats. First and goal to go. Oh, that was a blitz. And it worked.
Fumble on the play. Recovered.
And ball on the ground, picked up by the Vikings, I believe. Now you can't
advance
the ball. You see, they're changing team. Hold against the Wildcats. That's declined by North, and the results are recovered fumble. First down, Vikings.
Love the enthusiasm we saw from the team, too, after that.
Just under 3 minutes to go here in the ball game. It really has amazed me. It seems like this season just started. And here we are.
It's flown by, hasn't it?
It sure has. Wow. And it's been a good one. We've had some fun games. You know, that very first game, Bremerton-Clahalia ended up going right down to the wire with Bremerton giving their new coach a victory at number 1.
And Paul Terrio taking them to the playoffs even, so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be stuffed in the backfield.
Jack Solis, Sam Hendon, the ball carrier.
Hendon not getting anything there.
Jackson
Setting it up at about the 4.5.
Yeah, they'll lose a little bit on that one.
Excuse me, Caleb Gold.
Yeah, I don't think a whole lot of different people out there for Archbishop Murphy, although they did just say for North Kitsap it was Caleb Golden carrying it last time. They're probably actually trying to build up the stamina as they've not had to play a lot of games.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
And I'm sure they will have a tussle with either Washington or Tumwater.
And quarterback again had to keep it, fight for his life to get a yard or two.
Clock continues to run. We're at 1:50. Well, Doc, it's been another fun year with you. I cheated and missed a couple games. But I had good reasons. One was a wedding and the other was a family reunion. So those I thought were pretty good reasons. But I really enjoy working with you, and I just kind of our ability to bring this out to the community and beyond.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've been in TV for a long, long time, and I never really thought that I would be able to send pictures and sound around the world.
How cool,
live.
huh?
Yeah, because I couldn't afford that $500,000 truck.
No, we've not got that money.
$1,500 an hour on the satellite, and downlink equipment.
That's right.
But it's great, and again, so much thanks and kudos to the KitsapSun.com. And this, you know, to me, it's what community is all about. And our mission at West Sound is to produce and promote and help to develop local community television so that the entire community, whether they're here in town or on a ship or somewhere else, has an opportunity to see these great students out there playing.
Exactly, and it's just so cool that we're able to share that.
And congrats to the North Kitsap girls. Volleyball at state again. Oh, nice little move there coming around, but...
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. And he made a nice couple of moves there until he got hit pretty good. And I believe that was Jormo.
Yeah, he looks a little dejected going off the sideline. All these great seniors with this North Kitsap program. I can't name them all because there are so many 12s on this roster. It's unbelievable. But these guys have been going to the playoffs year after year after year, and I really thought they had a pretty good opportunity to go just a little bit farther this year. But when you hit such a buzzsaw in the first round, that's really tough.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, I really liked watching this team. They just play the game right.
They do.
Enjoy it. All the different areas are covered. We didn't get a 54-yarder from Kanan, but close.
He tried.
Yeah.
Oh, they are going in the victory.
There you go.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Well, that will do it. We've got under a minute to go.
No, we have those are those points
that's right.
again.
You're right. It's 1.8, and we are done up here at North Kitsap High School, North Kitsap Stadium in Paulsbo. And unfortunately for us Viking fans, the Archbishop Thomas Murphy Wildcats have come away the winners.
34-0.
34-0. And a good effort. Obviously, you know, the Archbishop Murphy is good.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care how big they are or whatever. They're good. They're just plain good.
Well, they are well coached. They have the whole package. They have the runners, and they have one of the things that really makes a difference is they have a very good passing game.
Yeah.
And you are looking at
that QB out there, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Is looking pretty good. And what can you say about Ryan Henderson? You know I love a good leg at the high school game.
The one thing I don't know about what's happening with some of these guys, like where they're going next, I think Jeff told us that Anthony Gurley is maybe going to Eastern. And so you would love to be able to follow them into college because it's so much fun to see them succeed at the next level.
Well, yeah, it's been a great season. Thanks to the Kitsap Sun for making it possible for us to bring it to you live on the internet, on the stream. And much thanks to Mr. Spencer Anderson, our ace A #1 camera
He
person.
didn't miss any
out
games.
there.
Yay!
And he does a good job too, whether he's unlike some of us who sometimes can keep that camera steady.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you, Spencer, for all the hard work and effort you put in. And Kitty is our producer for the high school sports, and she's the one that gets all this paperwork together and contacts the ADs and everything else to get us going and get us here to be able to bring our community this great program from the schools. What's your line, your closing line, Kitty?
We are West Sound TV, bringing your community to you.
And that's what it's about. And I'm the doctor, Doc Parr, saying stay tuned. We will see you soon.